There are a ton of phenomenal lines in A Song of Ice and Fire, but the line Maester Aemon gives Jon Snow before he departs for Old Town has to be my favorite one in the entire series thus far for many reasons. Some for how well they tie together parts of Jon's character and story, and others for how personally they affected me throughout my day-to-day life. Let's start off with why I love this line so much in universe. At the start of A Dance with Dragons, Maester Aemon tells Jon Snow that he must kill the boy and let the man be born. Maester Aemon has been Jon's mentor on the wall for a few years now, a father figure of sorts, who was always around to guide Jon Snow in his darkest hour. But unfortunately, since he will be burned alive if he stays, Maester Aemon is forced to leave Jon Snow's side. So he leaves him with one final lesson: kill the boy and let the man be born. A line that sticks with Jon Snow and sort of haunts him throughout the remainder of A Dance with Dragons. Up until this point in the story, Jon Snow is a character who's been filled with an incredible amount of inner conflict. Throughout A Game of Thrones and A Clash of Kings, his personality is constantly in flux due to him leaving his Stark family behind to join the Night's Watch. This confusion is only amplified by the introduction of the War of the Five Kings, in which Jon temporarily wants to leave the Night's Watch to march south with Robb. And to make matters even worse, throughout A Storm of Swords, he becomes a wildling. He falls in love for the first time, loses love for the first time, leads men in battle, and at the height of his inner conflict regarding who he is as an individual, he's named Lord Commander and forced to put all of his desires, conflicts, and questions in the back of his mind, since now he has more important things to attend to. And this line that Maester Aemon gives to him is basically a demand that Jon Snow must let the parts of himself that hold him back from being the best leader that he can go so that he can ensure the protection of the realm. Deep down, Jon Snow truly wanted to take Stannis' offer of becoming Jon Stark, the Lord of Winterfell, having Val become his wife, and having a son who would be named Robb. It's beyond just a tempting offer. It's something that Jon Snow has desired his entire life. But unfortunately, it's not something that he can ever have. Jon Snow knows the truth. He isn't blessed with ignorance like the rest of the realm. He knows that if he doesn't stand here and now and defend the realm from the others, that no one will. Thus his dream of becoming the Lord of Winterfell is just that, a dream. There isn't a reality where Jon Snow becomes Lord of Winterfell, because this is where he needs to be. And this idea of making the hard choices and deciding not to make the happy decisions but the necessary ones is closely tied to Jon Snow's character. This is a man who at every crossroad always takes the harder path, even if every fiber of his being wants to take the easier one. I believe this is due to the way he was raised and being a child of Ned, even though he doesn't have his name. And as a young man myself, this is something that I found incredibly moving and relatable. At 21 years old, I find myself at a lot of crossroads in my life. Sure, I'm not fighting ice zombies or leading a garrison of men, but just like everyone else in the world, I have my own problems. I have things from my past that always find their way to crawl back into my head on my hard days. I still say things I don't mean, and make a ton of mistakes. I often find myself feeling lost, like I don't always know what direction or path I'm supposed to take. In situations like this, I find the idea of giving up and just letting myself stagnate very easy. I'll try and reason with myself, saying that my life's not bad and that I'm comfy. There's no reason for me to improve or keep pushing myself. When I sometimes lash out or get overly emotional, I try and look for excuses like everyone else has. Their issues and no one's perfect, so why should I be? But like Jon Snow, no matter how tempted I am by these easier choices, I find myself always taking the high road because that's what I felt I always needed to do. And this line, kill the boy and let the man be born, serves as a wonderful reminder for me to keep growing as an individual and to overcome all the problems from my childhood that is definitely time to let go of. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you ever need anything or just want to chat, please feel free to hit me up in my Instagram or Discord or TikTok DMs. I'm always available if you just need someone to talk to. In the future, I'm probably going to continue with more personal content where I'll be analyzing media, but also using my own personal experience and giving my own personal touch to the story and the discussion. Again, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.